Okay, so it doesn't want to go that way. I have to come over here to go that. If I get into the homework. It's waiting.
Sometimes you gotta double click it.
No, it's waiting then, right? See, this message here says it's waiting for Math Lab to do something. So I'm getting really frustrated because I don't like to wait for them. There we go. So only 12 exercises. Number 1 gives you a round trip problem, and then you also have some instructor tips that come up there. Number 1 says, for this problem, spaces are being represented by a 27. So it asked you, and notice it gave you lowercase letters instead of uppercase letters, so they'll kind of go back and forth. It's the same technique. So they want you to take the word by and go through the first level of translating it to numbers. B, 2, U, 21, and Y, 25. Then they gave you a 3x3 encoding and wanted you to be able to code that message. That means that this would have to become your matrix A. And because this is 3x3, 3x3s can be multiplied by what type matrices? 3 by somethings. So you have 3 rows, and you have 3 letters to put in there, so will that be 1 letter on each row? So it's a 3x1 matrix. So a 3x1 matrix would do the multiplication problem, and then they will give you a decoding one. They will say, so your friend respond to you this, and they'll have you decode it, which means you're going to use the same decoding matrix, but I don't want to go through the by hand stuff of doing all that, so I'm just going to kind of scan. This one is a full trip picture of the problem. I know I haven't done everything. So the second one, still using 27. Notice there's only 2 parts. Convert technology to numbers. So the first level of the translation. And the second part's probably going to be then a multiplication problem. They'll give you a coding matrix, and they'll say do the multiplication problem. Okay? But they're not having you decode here. You decoded one on the first one, but not on the second one. Third one, use the coding matrix to encode the word find. Use the inverse matrix. Let me make things nice for you. This matrix inverse is this. You don't need to know this. You simply need to know that this matrix inverse is this. So they didn't get it because I don't want you doing this thing by hand with a bunch of fractions in there. That's cruel and unusual punishment. So that gives you both a code and decode, and you don't need to put this in. They told you that's A's inverse right there. So you already got A's inverse. Well, use this instead of redefining the matrix. Instructor tip, probably going to tell us that now they're using a 0 for a space in there. So this matrix was coded by this. They want you to find A prime. Okay, so I got to find A prime. I got to find the inverse matrix there. I'm not going to work hard for that. I'm going to let the calculator do it. Matrix A, edits, and I want matrix A to be 2, 1, 9, and 4. Now they want to know what matrix B is, or they want to know what A's inverse is going to be. I'm out of there, except I did it wrong, didn't I? I have the wrong size matrix, don't I? It should be a 2 by 2. Simple things can get you into trouble. So I had a 2, 1, 9, 4. Finished. They want to know what matrix A's inverse is. I didn't really need to know that to do the decoding, but that's what they want you to do here. And then after they do that, then they want you to use that on this over here. I've already got matrix A, so you really, yeah, You see what I'm saying? You don't have to use the things that they gave you there. Slow today. We're getting there. Okay, so they want us to use 0 again. So here is a German mathematician's name. And they want you to write that in code. Your test question may have some German mathematician's name in code and want you to translate it to English. So if you get a name like Carl F. Gauss, or if you get Albert Einstein, or if you get Newton, or something like that, they're people's names. So here again is a 0. Math is cool. Remember to partition the number into groups of 2. Why groups of 2? Because of the size of matrix they gave us. So they want the message that's coded in here. They're not asking you to decode, just coding. Now we're back to this one again. So now they want us to decode the message. I have no idea what this says, but you'll know when you get done. So a lot of coding and decoding, but very few problems that take you and make you do both of them. About half of them code, about half of them decode. So you need some more practice with this that's going on in here. One problem on the test with this, the work isn't done by hand, the arrangement's done by hand. And I really kind of want to see all the steps involved there. Okay? So I've used my time. Didn't get done with everything I was supposed to get done, but I used my time, so we're done. Workbook pages Wednesday, and Wednesday we start tackling the rest of the stuff.